What's going on, everyone? Raptor Rising here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the new update for the F-16 in DCS. Now, previous to this update, the F-16 worked with a simulation of the force feedback system that works in the stick. This was counterintuitive for most users in that the setup was optimized for that type of stick and not for the very common spring-centered sticks that most people use. So, in this latest update, you can now work with the F-16's input while disabling the force stick gradient, which is right here. So you want to make sure this is set to off if you have a side-centered stick. If you have a force feedback stick, you're going to want it on. I've been playing a little bit with the pitch axis dead zone values. I'm going to set them to the max and go from there. I did have them in the middle, and I found the aircraft felt a little too twitchy. But the benefit here is now the F-16 is incredibly responsive. So, let's see just how responsive it is. Alright, so we're going to rendezvous with the tanker. Which is out there. Get some gas, see how this aircraft responds. What's interesting about the F-16's FLICUS, flight control system, is that it only moves a little bit. And so even in the real jet, a lot of pilots experience PIO, or pilot-induced oscillation, because you're not able to see through a range of motion just how much force you're inflicting on the stick. So if I do that, you can see my stick's only moving so much, and that's realistic. It becomes very difficult to simulate that in an authentic way. And so when the Viper initially launched, it was straight realistic to that implementation of how it is in the real jet. But again, because most people use side-centered or spring-centered sticks, it created a ton of input lag, especially when you're doing initial rolls. So most of us were running negative curves with the F-16. I am no longer running a negative curve. I'm doing a 1-for-1, so it's straight up. I have a little bit of dead zone tweaked in there, and a little bit of dead zone tweaked in the special menu. And I can tell instantly that this F-16 is much more responsive. The roll, pitch, this plane wants to go.
Arco 1-1, Colt 1, request rejoin.
Colt 1, Arco 1-1, proceed to pre-contact at 26,000.
So now that the stick is much more sensitive, you're going to want to be very mindful and really fingertip flying this aircraft. On my WinWing F-16EX joystick, I have it mounted to the side like you would in the real F-16. And I literally fly it with my thumb, my index finger, and my middle finger. That's really all I need. Just getting into the observation position. Yeah, it looks like the tanker's doing about 0.68 Mach or so, 280 knots. Alright, I'm in the observation position. Now I'm going to slide behind the tanker like I slid into your mom's DMs last night. Okay, ready pre-contact.
Ready pre-contact.
Cleared contact.
And like I said, I'm doing fingertip flying here. Very gentle inputs. You can see the aircraft is still pretty twitchy. But it's very responsive, which is nice too.
Contact. You're taking fuel.
I think I need a little bit less pitch dead zone. Wanted to be a little bit more responsive in that way. It's a little slow for input. Yeah, I just disconnected. Great.
Contact. You're taking fuel. Transfer complete.
And there you go.
Disconnect.
Easy peasy.
Flight. Hit the tanker. Roger.
Yeah, so I'm going to drop the pitch dead zone a little bit, but the roll feels very good. Still pretty twitchy, but for the most part I had no problem staying in position under the tanker. And it's an interesting phenomenon that even the real Viper induces on its pilots. You know, the fact that you can't move it past a certain point and it's all just based on pressure makes it difficult to tell exactly how much pressure you're putting on it. I'd be very curious to experience that in real life. What the side stick pressure feels like in the Viper. But I'm not going to drop hundreds upon hundreds of dollars just for a flight stick that simulates that. It's ridiculous. As cool as they are. I'm not knocking it, but alright, there's 2 getting his gas. And even formation flying is so much easier now. I'd be struggling all over the sky prior to that this update. Huge quality of life improvement for the Viper. Huge quality of life improvement. So I recommend you guys, if you want to try this out, get some improved feeling in your Vipers, start off by just disabling that function, the pitch axis and the roll axis gradients in the special menu, and then and 2's done. Give him a little wing wobble. Thank you for the gas tanker. And play around with it by doing some aerial refueling, which is very challenging and requires precise input. It's a great way to get your tests out, figure out what's going to work best for you in your particular setup, because no 2 setups are alike, and go from there. As you can see, just the simple quality of life addition of disabling the stick gradients has made it much easier for me to refuel in the Viper And I think after some tweaking I can get it to be even better. Just need a little bit more response on the pitch. I'm pretty happy with the roll though, so you can see that. I mean, this thing is a beast. Welcome to the ground at Al Dhafra Air Base. Heading back to the hangar. I hope you guys found this video to be useful or informative. At the very least enjoyable. Please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Have you had any success with your tuning for your Viper? Are you interested in getting the Viper now that this issue has been resolved? Let me know. Please leave a like for the algorithm. Subscribe if you're new here. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. This has been Raptorizing. Raptor out.